Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Nelson. Nelson is from France, but he lives in London, in the UK. So let's see what Nelson has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Nelson. How are you?
Good, yeah?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Finally, we make it happen.
I know we've been trying. So, tell me, how was your day today?
It was all right. Obviously, I'm in London, so the heat is not as brutal as yesterday, so it's a little bit fresher now, but yeah, it's good.
Amazing. So, tell me, where are you from, Nelson?
I'm originally from France, as you can tell, with the
Uh-huh.
accents. I'm originally from Paris, but I've got some Portuguese, Latin roots, so I speak Portuguese like you.
Uh-huh.
And I've been living in London for 15 years. So half of my
Wow.
life, pretty much, yeah.
And why London?
Why London? Because I came over when I was 15 years old, so I was a teenager.
Uh-huh.
I ended up studying here at the French lycée, the French school, and then I went to uni. And you know how it is. You get caught in London and you never leave. So
Absolutely. And your parents, they live in Paris or they live in Portugal?
they live in France.
In France. I see. And what do you do for work, for living, Nelson?
I work in the transport logistic office,
Uh-huh.
but I do a lot of training and sports on the side, as you've probably seen on my page. So I run marathons and I travel the world and
Wow.
race. Basically, I compete. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so let's start the interview talking a little bit more about this journey as athletes that you've been, running around the world, doing some competitions. Walk me through a little bit.
So I've always been a sporty person when I was younger. This is actually the discipline that I excelled at school. I was just looking forward to sports every time. Sports
Uh-huh.
and languages, these are my two things that I excelled at school. The rest I wasn't so good. So yeah. Um, so yeah, I was always the athletes of the family, doing relays at school, winning for my school as well, winning like small competition at school. So I was always the one that my friend used to look up to, and I was just, the one in the class that just, I loved sports. So when I was 18, 19, I was running, like jogging twice, 3 times a week. And then I wanted to challenge myself at the time. So I was very young. You know how it is, you're 18 years old, you want to tackle the world, you think you're a hero, you can do anything. And I thought, what can I do with the running? Because I really like it now. And I thought, let's sign up for a marathon. And I immediately signed up for the biggest challenge you can ever ask on the road running, which is a marathon, 26 miles.
Wow.
So at the time, I had no coaching. I didn't even have the proper running watch. I'm actually carrying now the Garmin. So I thought, let's do the challenge, and I think I can do it. I ended up paying the price for the first one. That was in Amsterdam in
Uh-huh.
2013. So I just went there with my family, my younger brother. Like my family was, cheering me up, supporting me. And even at the time, my father was like, Nelson, you're a little bit crazy to just tackle you know what a marathon is? And I said, I don't, but I'm going to find out. And I did it just because I needed the adrenaline and I needed to feel the public and the people cheering you up, the vibe.
Yeah.
I didn't even do it for myself first. I thought I need to be seen on stage. I need to have the people clapping and just get me going because I like the adrenaline. And I traveled to Amsterdam. I did my first one in 4 hours and 25 minutes.
Wow.
So obviously, because I was young and I had no training, I was athletic already, but I didn't have the full training, uh,
Yep.
to carry on and get the marathon done. So I went crazy for the first 10 kilometers and then that's it. I was out. I had to walk and jog until the finish line to get the medal because I really wanted that medal. And I thought, what can I do? I have to just keep battling like a soldier, just crawling. And I still remember like yesterday. It's a good experience. And then next thing you know,
Wow.
you're in pain. You think never again. And the next day you sign up for a new one. So
Yeah, I like those challenges. I think sometimes when we sign up for something that you're not ready for, but somehow you were brave. You know what, let me do it, and you learn a lesson out of it.
Yeah.
And there's always a way to learn. And I understand when you're very young, you are very excited, you just want to do something. But again, if you didn't do it, you take you longer to learn some lessons and to understand more about it.
Sure. Exactly.
Amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Yeah.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Okay.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of wonderful questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Just let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change, okay? First question is, if you could be in somebody's place, in somebody's skin for 24 hours for any reason, who that would be and why?
I would be a firefighter.
Tell me why.
Because I want to see what it feels like to save people. So I want to see how it feels to, someone's life is very valuable on Earth. Like we all bleed the same blood. So I want to see how it feels to have all your efforts and training paid off on the field when you save someone and you make a family happy, basically. So that would be.
And why is that? Why do you have this mindset of helping others?
I think I've always had a big heart. So
Mm-hmm.
I never really expect anything in return, but I like to see the fruit of my efforts being paid off. So if I help someone and I see that I take her, for example, from A to Z and she's happy, it means I did a good job. So that means that gives me satisfaction. I'm on a good track. And I like seeing people happy rather than, seeing them crying and sad. And so, yeah, this is, I'm a very emotional guy. So.
Tell me something, when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Nelson?
My patience and my I never give up. So this is one of my strengths. I'm very patient. Even if it takes 20 years, I will just keep rising and keep climbing that mountain. I can be wounded and injured, I will still do it because I need to tell myself I didn't need anyone, I just did it. So I climbed the mountain and I need to be able to say, I'm at the top, maybe I'm injured, maybe I don't look good, but at least I did it. So it's a satisfaction for myself, just backing up what I did.
Yeah, I like that. I think when you have this personality, you just go for it. You just want to do it. You want to achieve things.
Exactly.
Great. Next question. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, Nelson. Next question is, what makes you most uncomfortable about yourself?
I think, in all honesty, when I was younger, I used to be, my weakness was, not so much now because I grew up and I became more mature, but I think I used to stop on what people used to think about me. And this is a big mistake because you need to live your life. You need to be happy about the way you approach things. And, we're all different. We all can't be look alike and the same. So the world would be boring if everyone was the same. So we all need to be proud with what we are. We're born as the one we are, and we just need to, carry on.
Wow. Tell me something, talking about your childhood memories. I believe your parents, they're Portuguese, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And for you growing up in France, did you have both language? Did your parents kind of put some effort for you to have the Portuguese language as well, or somehow they let you just, with the French language?
Thank you for raising the question. That's actually a good one. Yeah. Obviously, I speak both languages fluently, French being my mother tongue because I went to school and I was born there.
Yeah.
So it will always be my first language, the French one. Luckily, the Portuguese, my parents were clever enough to just, especially my mom, to just teach me from a young age, because this is where you learn the fastest and the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go once or twice every year to Portugal, visit family. So I got to learn with the family and also at home with my parents.
Yeah.
So visiting family only strengthened my ability and my skills in the language of Portuguese. But that's an advantage, yeah. So the sooner the advice that I can take for my future children is teach them very young, as many things as possible, because a child can take as many things as possible rather than teaching them late because it's more difficult.
Wow. And where's about in Portugal your parents are from?
A town up north called Braga.
Braga? I used to live in Portugal, actually. I lived 5 years in Porto before coming to England. And I went to Guimarães, to Braga, all those area there. Love it.
They've got a beautiful castle in Guimarães, yeah.
Yeah. It's very historical. Guimarães is beautiful.
And I think Braga now is the third biggest town in Portugal.
Yes.
After Lisbon and Porto, of course. Yeah.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Nelson. Before the next question, so tell me, as you mentioned before about your passion about marathon, to be involved in sports, what's the biggest joy of it when you are doing it? Tell me the feeling when you are, doing your competitions, when you are signed for it, when you are prepare yourself. Tell me the feeling. What's the biggest joy?
I think if I'm honest with you, the marathon is not the hardest part. The hardest part is the training that you don't do under the spotlights. You do behind the scenes. That's all the struggles. Waking up at 5 a.m, putting in nutrition-wise and everything, the long run on Sundays, everything that goes with it. The marathon itself, it's just a victory lap. So traveling to a new country, having the excuse of sightseeing and seeing a new country, but at the same time competing and proving yourself that you are that person that's going to beat your personal best and you keep improving. This is the joy of it. You almost feel like, regardless of your level, you almost feel like a professional traveling and doing what you like the most.
Yeah.
And connecting with other runners. Over the last few years, I've connected with so many runners from different nationalities. So we all speak different language, we all live in a different town, but what connects us is the pain of just logging in the miles and doing a marathon and half marathons and all the road running events that you can. So that's the beauty of it. It's connecting with other human beings and living the experience and seeing different towns, different cities, and different.
Wow. And when, of course, I made a note here when you said about, so the Amsterdam was the very first one you ever done, yeah?
That was the first one, yeah.
So, and which one was the last one?
The last one was a world major, because you've got 7 world majors now. You used to have 6, but they've added Sydney in Australia. So that's the 7th one now. So all the runners across the world are going to be chasing that 7th. It's like Dragon Ball. You know Dragon Ball? You've got the dragon, you're collecting the balls. So it's exactly the same. You're collecting the big medals. Yeah, my last one was a world major in Chicago.
Wow. And the next one?
And the next one, I haven't got a next one, but I'm hoping I can go to Berlin next year.
Berlin, I see. Next question is, what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
Say again?
What is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
I think there are too many. I don't have anyone on top of my head, but just them being there for me every day, that's just a blessing. I couldn't ask for anything else, so yeah.
And which person in your family right now you feel more close to or more connected with right now?
I would say I'm closest to my mom, and I will always, I think, be closest to my mom, yeah.
Okay, so your mom is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? She's watching.
Mom, your boy will always be with you, behind you, and standing with you, no matter what the storm is. I will always be there. And thank you for being there for me every day.
Oh, sweet. And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from her?
One of them is never give up. Never be affected by whatever is going on in your life, because there's always people suffering across the world. So I pray a lot, and I'm a very religious person. So I'm always grateful, because health is the most precious things you can ever have in your life. And having your loved one as well, still being there with you on this planet, because, God forbid, I've got many people in my family, uncles that have passed away, but I think it's having people close to you and being in good health. I think that's the luxury for me. That's being rich. It's having your loved one and being healthy. The rest you can manage.
Totally. I think, the rest you can go up for. You can fight for it. You can find a way to get it. But without health, you cannot do anything.
You cannot do anything.
And do you see yourself living in London for a long while?
London is like a drug. Once you're in it, once you're enrolled in it, it's hard to get out of, because I've traveled a lot of places in Western Europe, across the world, and I think London is very special in itself. What London has to offer, it doesn't matter which season you go through, autumn or winter, it's always beautiful. Even in the winter, when all the lights are on in Knoxfield Circus, all across London, London has too many things to offer. You will never run out of ideas. North London, East London, there's always theaters, cinemas, bars, and concert, new things that you can there's always something to do.
And what do you find most challenging about the city?
I would say, like everyone else would agree with me, the cost of life is quite expensive, but it's a little bit everywhere. But in London, especially the transport, the accommodation, everything. So luckily I cycle a little bit everywhere, so I'm fine. But it's expensive. And whoever has a car as well, like all the road tax, the insurance, and everything, it's expensive.
Yeah, as you said, I think London, we have the privilege to have everything in our doors, like theater, musicals, shows, concerts, games, opportunities. It literally just open your door, walk 5 minutes, and you can find a lot of things. However, you pay a lot for it. You pay a good price for it. It's not for free. You know what I mean? So that.
Because if you compare, for example, with countries such as Spain, Italy, Portugal, countries I've been a few times, there's a very good quality of life. But then again, in terms of jobs, in terms of the economic situation, it's not the same as London. London, you've got more opportunities. There's many more things that London offers that these cities in these countries don't offer. But then again, the quality of life is everything. So there's a choice in life to make,
Totally. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, next question is, if you were to raise a child, what are the most important things would you like them to learn?
I think one of the main one that comes on top of my head is respect. You've got to respect everyone. You've got to respect your elders, but you've got to respect everyone. So obviously it's nice in life to earn respect through actions that you do, but you need to respect everyone. This is one of the value that I will teach them. And then the second one will be suffering in sports. So I will teach them the good thing, because it's trust me, when you suffer, when you go through the pain, but on the other side there is victory. It's a good feeling, trust me. Obviously I've experienced this many times at my level, but I can only imagine at the elite level and professional level, it's even higher. So I think the more chances you give yourself, the more disciplined and committed you are, the better chance you stand at succeeding. succeeding in anything you do. So I would say respect and good work ethic. These are the two things that I will teach them. Teach her or teach him, I don't know. We'll see how things pan out. Mm-hmm.
2 questions left. Let's do it. You like dancing, Nelson?
I'm honest with you, it's not my cup of tea. I'm more of a karaoke. If you ask me karaoke and singing, yeah, dancing is. I'll stick to running.
Right. So before the next question, tell me, of course, you had a few experiences through your training, through your run. So tell me a funny situation that happened to you that you're never going to forget. That's, maybe, I don't know. Okay, 2 questions in one. The first part of the question is, tell me a situation that happened to you through your runs, since you started, that for you it was funny, was a big challenge. And the second part of the question is, there was a marathon that you run that you felt like, okay, I'm not going to be able to make it. And somehow you felt the strength and you made it, like you felt proud of yourself. There was those 2, if you can share something.
I think the funniest story is it's not really funny, but I bumped into someone from London that I had done a training on the track, and I ended up seeing this person in my wave in Italy, actually, in Verona, in the city of Romeo and Juliet. And I actually saw that person and I trained with that person randomly. I just saw her at the track. I didn't ask any phone number or anything, and I bumped into her on race day. She didn't recognize me at first, but I said, we did a session together in Battersea, Millennium Track. And she said, oh, I think I remember, yes. So that's how, running is very random. Like, what are the odds to just meet someone from London in one of the races in Italy in the same way?
Wow.
So that was the thing. The second one is a race that I felt like I wasn't going to make it was maybe Chicago when I got accepted. It was one of the world majors, so I had a lot of pressure on my shoulders, but I had sustained an injury, quite a big injury on the hip 5-6 months before that needed proper rest, proper recovery. So, I took a lot of magnesium tablets. I saw my GP and I saw my physio as well, and we just worked through things. And I wasn't sure I was going to finish it. And I knew that I was going to make the injury much worse. But I played like my life was depending on it. I played like a Grand Slam, like it was a final of a Grand Slam. So I couldn't go backwards. Because this type of world major, obviously, it's a lottery. So it's hard to get into the race. So because I was accepted through lottery, not through qualifying standards at the time, because it was 2 years ago, it's one of the races that you don't want to miss. So when Chicago opens the door for you, you don't want to say no, even if you have an injury. You just find a way to just go through it. And I ended up taking 6 months off after the marathon to actually cure the injury properly and get back on my feet. And I nailed the result in Chicago. I wasn't expecting to do sub 3, and I did 2 hours 53, which was like amazing.
Wow.
And the pain, I managed to somehow, the pain was actually numb for the race. So I managed to numb the pain for 42 kilometers. But I paid the price, obviously, the next morning when I woke up. It was like,
oops,
not pretty to watch, yeah.
Wow. And I'm sure as well for you to be resting for 6 months, it wasn't easy as well, for sure, like to wait.
Obviously I run on a daily basis. I train different trainings on a daily basis. So stopping and, working on yourself at the gym and going back to square one, it feels like you're losing a lot of cardio, you're losing a lot of technique, you're losing a lot of everything. But then again, it's a step backwards to just move 2 steps ahead and just be better. So, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Then again, it's the mindset of, being patient. That's it.
Yeah. Next question is, what makes you most proud?
I think you've got to learn to, love yourself and the way you are. So every day, I think I give my all every time. So I don't have any regrets. That's the most important things about myself. If I don't give everything, I feel like I'm missing out, and I'm going to be regretting, because I'm going to be like, oh, I could have done a little bit more. But if I go all in and it doesn't work out, or it does, at least I can say I've got no regrets. I gave it all. There's nothing I can do. So my mind is at peace. That's it. That's the most things I'm most proud of. Yeah.
And what would be the title of your memoir?
It would be in French. Touché mais pas coulé, which means I can be. You can still touch me, but you won't drown me. That would be my.
Wow. And why is that? Why do you think that would be the title?
Because obviously, as you're competing on a daily basis with yourself, but with everyone, you will always come across people who don't agree with you or don't want the best for you. So you've got to have the mindset of a winner. You've got to have a bulletproof mind and say, no matter what I go through and no matter who I bump into, no one will be able to derail me from my goal. And that's my thing.
Amazing. Great. Last question, ready?
I'm ready, yeah, always.
How do I say last question in Portuguese?
Última pergunta.
Última pergunta. Okay, but for the last question, people watch this interview right now. Maybe they got very excited about to listen to your stories, the way you start your career, regarding as well your journey, up and downs. And they want to start, a marathon. They want to start running. They want to get into it. What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
Start very slow. Don't push yourself too hard. Be consistent, be patient, and 1% better every day, and mix up your training. That's all I have to do.
Wow, amazing. Last question is, what do you think people need to know about each other before they start a relationship?
I think before they start a relationship, they really need to spend time together to see if it's going to work out and gradually make it into a relationship. That's my opinion. But we can't, it's like I said earlier, you can't find someone else or your soulmate. I think if you agree on everything, you've got to be disagreement. Otherwise it's not going to work out. If you agree on everything, it means, in my opinion, the relationship will drown. So there's got to be disagreement. There's got to be up and down. There's got to be spiciness. Otherwise a relationship is and then it will fade.
Yeah. And how do you see the dating life in London? It's a big city. There's a lot of people, a lot of opportunities to connect. How do you see, based on your experience? Do you think it's easy to meet someone, or do you think people here they just want to meet for a night out and for adventure? They don't see things very, let's say, serious. What do you think, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I've spoken with people a lot older than me, different generation, and they said it was completely different back then. Now in my generation, I think people are using all these websites and everything. In my opinion, I think there's nothing better than to actually meet the person face to face rather than going through all these dating sites. In my opinion, I don't really believe in it. There's nothing more concrete than actually seeing and feel the person, feel the vibe, feel the emotions. But I think London is a great place. Now, obviously, they came up with all these running dating club and things like that, which I'm not really keen on because we don't really mix the running to connect with others. These are two different things. When you come to a run club, you need to put in the work. But I've had feedback, and I even went to one in Clapham, and I thought, no, it's not really, the scene is not really for me.
I see.
But London is, I live in a town of 10 million people, so it's very cosmopolitan. So you're going to come across a lot of different nationalities, different people from different religions. So I think it's a good mix. It's a good town to mix with others. I think it's good, and you've got plenty of restaurants, like thousands of different multicultural restaurants. So I think it's good to have a good night out with people and meet people. So I think London is a good place.
Amazing. Right, so not in yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Okay. Let's start with money.
Company.
Okay. Fear.
Anxiety,
Okay. Family,
love,
life,
challenging,
religion,
forward,
love,
excitement,
politics,
boring,
sex.
pinnacle,
Huh?
pinnacle,
Okay.
pinnacle. You know, it's like the top.
Friendship,
Fake,
desire,
strong,
regret,
no regrets.
okay. Success.
Nelson.
Wow. Wish,
Again,
wish,
health,
happiness,
family,
one word for France,
charismatic,
one word for Portugal,
enjoyment,
one word for London,
everything,
and the last one, our marathon, one word.
the best.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, define Nelson in one positive and one negative word only, what your best friend would say about you.
Positive way, positive, patient and strong will. Negative, sensible, and sensible. Yeah, very sensible.
I see. Okay. Let's play now, Nelson and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, but before you ask me the question, we talk about already some situation that happened to you when you were doing your marathon, but if you could choose a moment for any reason, that you always gonna remember. Could be when you're running, could be when you're training, could be after your run, could be anything that when you think about it, go like, you know what, I'll always remember this moment. For any reason, what comes to your mind right now?
Meeting my family at the finish line in my first marathon.
Wow.
That would give me, seeing them three, hugging me, and I will always stay there. And
wow, that's amazing.
When moment gets tough, you just have to think about them and picture them, and that's it. It becomes much easier.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, Nelson, you can ask me a question now.
Where are you based?
Right, so I live in London. Yeah, I'm based in London, but I lived in Portugal, Porto for 5 years before moving to London. And before that, I was, of course, living in Brazil. I left Brazil when I was 19-year-old. Yeah, I moved all the way to Portugal on my own. And I've been living most of my life here in London. And as you mentioned before, the beginning of the interview, I think London is a place where you can find a lot of opportunities as well. I think once you start living here, it's difficult for you to find other place, because I feel great when I go to Portugal for relaxing. I go to other friends, go to Spain or other countries, but I like the vibe of London, this vibe.
Yeah, once you go abroad, after a couple of days, you've got London calling you and like,
yes,
please get back. I know, yeah.
I know, and when you feel like, people like you, always very proactive, you like to be on the go, I think London is a place to be. Of course, sometimes you need to slow down a little bit, and sometimes you can get a bit stressed out with the buzz of London. However, I think it feels great when you go like, you know what, I live in London. I think it's great it's a great feeling, for sure.
Yes, and how long have you been here, you said?
So I've been here 19 years now, 18, since 2000. So it's been like almost 18 years I've been here. Yeah, most of my life.
And how would you say about the change from where you first came up until now? Have you seen a lot of change?
Good question, actually. I think that when I arrived in London, I think I didn't like much because it was too busy for me. I couldn't understand much the city. It was hard for me to understand. But once you start to get to know people, to get to know the area, to get to know the culture in London, I think that's when you start to enjoy the city, enjoy more than before. So when I arrived here, I liked it, but now I feel like I meant to be here. I think when you get to know the city better, it feels more like, okay, you know how to manage the city, you know how to manage if you want to be more relaxed, you want to be more busy, if you want to be more proactive, there's always a way for you to manage it down to you. The seat's always gonna be there, like running. You just need to adjust yourself for a certain time what you've been doing. So yeah, I don't see much difference because I just see that I don't feel like I've been here for that long because time goes very fast. But
It's
yeah,
unbelievable.
it's unbelievable. But I don't see much difference. I just see I feel more quiet now because the older you get, you feel more quiet because you see
Of
the
course.
city different eyes. You know what I mean? I see the city in different eyes now. I prefer to go to a park to enjoy something more quiet. When I arrived here, I like the buzz of London. I like to see the nightlife in London. So I saw
Of
London with
course.
different eyes. But now I see
Of course,
London.
I completely understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so now I like to get to see the city properly, to get to know the places more deep. Before it was just more like, oh yes, let's go there, let's go here, let's check there, let's check here. Now I prefer to go and enjoy more and explore more with different eyes, with like more, that's how I see the city as well. So I think I enjoy the city much more than before for sure. Because when you find yourself in a place where you're meant to be here, yeah, for sure, I see it in different eyes,
Yeah, and
and I enjoy.
obviously you've got a lot of background, and also you're settled
Yes,
now, you're more mature, so you have time to just see things with different approach
absolutely,
rather than
absolutely.
when you come, you're just young and you just want to explore and let's go
Yeah,
Camden Town, let's go there, let's go
yeah,
clubbing, let's go. I
yeah,
understand.
yeah, totally
Yeah,
different. But yeah, I meant to be here. I meant to be in London. I like here. I think it's a place where I found myself and my identity is here. You know, when I picture myself, okay, I feel great. When I say, oh my God, I live in London, I feel great. I feel proud of being here for sure. Yeah.
perfect.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, very good, very good. It's a new things. It's always new to try new things. So it's
Totally.
fun. We get to connect with people. So I appreciate your
Abs-
time and thank you for taking me out a little bit of my shell and answering all these personal
The
questions,
pleasure.
but fun questions as well. So good
Totally.
experience.
The pleasure is mine, Nelson. I love, when passionate people come here to the show. When you talk about your career as an athlete, I think I love to hear those stories because I think it's amazing to see people, going after their dreams, their passion, and, embracing what they like. And I think it's amazing to be. Thanks so much for when I approached you. You're very kind and accepted my invitation.
My
And
pleasure.
carry on with your marathon. I just hope one day to come go there, be cheering up for you there one day.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Amazing. And
Thank you.
before you go, Nelson, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I would like to encourage people to just, we need to love each other more.
Yeah,
We need to be less competitive and less, we're all stepping onto each other. We live in a society where we constantly compete with all the social media. We want to be better than that person and that person. And if I may say something, there's a couple of things happening across the world, especially that genocide taking place in Palestine. You can't really not see it. So I think if people can love each other, because on the other side of the world, people are really, really suffering. So we keep complaining about, the rent, the life, or girlfriend, or I've lost my job, but there's many,
yeah,
many more important things across the world. So if we can just focus on that and, keep loving each other, and that's it. Because we're all, at the end of the day on this planet, we're all a passenger. We're all getting
totally.
on the train and there's a terminus. So we're all gonna get off at some point. So we need to make the most of it while on the train. We need to, enjoy ourselves and, love each other, and that's it. So I'm just promoting a message of peace.
I love that. Yeah. In the end of the day, we are all in the same boat. We are all in the same boat together. So we need to make the most of it for sure.
We're all human beings, and it doesn't matter how much money or how many
Yeah,
which girlfriends you are. I mean, it's we're all on the same boat. We're all on the same boat. We're
totally.
all trying to get by day by day and make
Amazing.
the most of it. That's it.
Amazing.
Cool. Perfect.
Amazing.
And keep up the good work, and thank you for having me. Yeah?
Thanks so much. Merci beaucoup. Take
Merci.
care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Ciao,
Bye-bye.
ciao. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.